Welcome to Cyclops is Waiting for Me, an X-Men animated recap podcast with X-Men 97 Season 2, Episode 8, titled The Dead Man's Hand. I'm Rod, and this is the episode everybody was waiting for since, 2.5 years ago or something, and currently surviving the LA heat wave.
And I am JC, and yeah, this is the episode everybody was waiting for, but I don't think it played out like any of us were expecting it to. But we will get into that. But right now, I am very, very happy to introduce our guest on today's episode, Alfredo Diaz.
Hello, hello. Was it 2.5 years?
About
2 years ago? Yeah.
Like
That's
2.25.
wild.
Yeah.
I don't know why it feels like it's only been a year and a half max.
It was done before Comic-Con. I remember that.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what a taking it as a whole, great episode, but what a fantastic show. Having watched it as a kid and then rewatching the original series probably about 6 months before 97 came out, and then just seeing them pick up right where they left off and just hit the ground running. It's just so good. And so many little, whether you watch the movies or read the comics or play some of the games, the little things here and there that you can get, it's just X-Men fans are eating good. And there's just so much that's coming to the MCU too as well. We've had even an announcement today as of recording.
The Cyclops casting. Yep.
Yeah, Cyclops casting. So
I'm not familiar with that actor, but it seems really cool.
He was in, was it The Long Walk? The movie that just came out.
Man, they're getting a lot of people from that movie now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. And he was fantastic in it. It was very interesting because he is a little bit heavier in that movie. And so, as someone that's portraying Cyclops, you think, they're a little bit more, especially in the MCU. But look, Disney will pump that man full of whatever they need to pump him full of in order to get him into shape.
Actually,
he also needs to start as slim, though. That's the gimmick, right? He has to be slim for the beginning, and then as he ages up, we'll get him, Jim Lee barrel-chested Cyclops.
Yeah.
The announcement I saw of his casting, they just purposely put a shirtless photo of him up, so I don't know if it's current or older, but he is jacked in that photo.
Oh,
so there's I don't know what time period, but they are like, this is Cyclops. I'm like, holy crap, okay, I get it.
Okay, we're gonna hit the ground running. We still have Doomsday, we still have Secret Wars, but yeah, I'm excited for the MCU.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we wanted to invite Alfredo on because I've known Alfredo now for a decade at this point.
It's been a while.
And, we've been doing this show for 4 years, but Fredo, you have us beat with the amount of podcasts that you have been a part of, especially Red Web, which you guys just hit your 6-year anniversary a few weeks ago, right?
We did. I co-host an internet conspiracy true crime cryptid podcast called Red Web.
Nice.
And in that, my role is to just react. So I'm not one to look into the deep, dark stuff of the internet or all the morbid things, but my friend presents it to me. I go in blind, and it's a wild world out there. It's wild.
But the reason I met Alfredo in the first place is because of our mutual friend Tim Geddes, who was on the Motendo episode with us on season 1, actually. So all comes full circle, and Alfredo is a big collector, has a few X-Men grails, which makes all of us jealous.
I knew you would bring it up.
I had to.
So I did prepare some of them, which this was referenced in the actual episode.
First appearance of Gambit. Beautiful.
Yep, first appearance.
Yep.
Or is it really? I think it's his first full. The annual, full. He has how many pages of dialogue in it? So
I've not actually read the annual, but yeah.
Same. I just see that he has pages of dialogue. I'm like, it's not really a first appearance for 266 then. Just a relevant one in general.
So ironically, at Comic-Con, I bought this box that has 100 X-Men covers as postcards. I gave that one to the voice actor who's doing Polaris, actually.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Here come the Grails.
Oh, dude.
Giant size.
So if you're listening to the pod and not watching, Alfredo just showed us giant size X-Men #1 right there.
Yep, 1975, first full appearance of Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Thunderbird, second full appearance of Wolverine, and this is my second one. I had to get one in a higher grade. So I do love my X-Men, and then my Holy Grail, and an 8.5 white pager. Hulk 181.
Beautiful.
White pages, beautifully centered.
So that is your ultimate book for you right now?
This is my this is my ultimate book. Will forever be my ultimate book. I will probably eventually downsize the collection, and with that downsizing, just run my referred to as my Holy Trinity, which will be Hulk 181, Giant Size X-Men, and X-Men #1.
Nice.
And I just have run the 3 of those.
my personal grail I got is the first appearance of Hawkeye. It is ungraded. I know there's no way that book is getting higher than a 5.5 or 6 at absolute best, but I still have it, and that's what I wanted the most. And props to my comic book shop here in LA. They were just like, hey dude, we got the first appearance of Hawkeye. I was like, what's the condition? They're like a 5.5, 6. I'm like, hold it for me.
It's a great grade, because that's a grade in which it can look and present very well. But then also it's not so pristine where you're just afraid to touch it. Like, you can actually go through the pages and get that old paper smell. And then look through some of the really cool panels. So yeah, you could do that, which is awesome.
Awesome. Well, we are going to go through some of our regular rigmarole before we hop into the episode. First off, we want to remind everybody, make sure to head down to Moby's in North Hollywood before August 16th. They're doing an X art show that's taking place. We did our first episode of a new series, which is going to debut after the finale of season 2 of X-Men 97. And also, amazing pieces of artwork. We're going to post some on our Instagram so you can see it. Local artists putting out just really dope work. And I purchased a Cyclops one myself that I will be picking up on the final day of that show. And Cyclops is Waiting for Me is our podcast series. We're going back and watching every single X-Men animated episode that we can find. This podcast started with the original 1992 X-Men the Animated Series, which was building up to the release of X-Men 97 Season 1. And since then, we've completed X-Men Evolution, Wolverine and the X-Men, and the X-Men anime. Today, we are coming in for the second to last episode of Season 2 of X-Men 97.
Yeah, some quick reminders. We're a recap show about an episode that isn't a week old yet. I can't believe we're at the finish line.
Seriously.
There will be spoilers. Yeah, we waited so long for this. If you don't want it spoiled for you, this is one that could be spoiled. Pause the podcast, watch the episode, and come back. I don't know why you'd be listening to this and not watching that, but don't say we didn't warn you. We're currently not sponsored by or affiliated with Marvel Animation, Disney, or Disney Plus in any way.
And don't forget to follow us on social media at Cyclops IWFM Pod on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook. And Fredo, make sure people know where they can follow you.
Yeah, they could find me anywhere on socials at Alfredo Plays.
And we'll make sure links are in the description too. So
today we're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 8, titled The Dead Man's Hand. It aired on August 5th, 2026. It currently sits in an 8.6 star rating on IMDb. That's interesting. Okay.
I love that this is a variation of a title from Wolverine and the X-Men, because there is an episode titled Aces and Eights from Wolverine and the X-Men, which is a Gambit-focused episode, obviously.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, so what's funny about this episode, just as a overall arching thing before we get into the details, it feels like if I had said something dumb about what I thought this was going to be, this is what would have happened. Because I feel like the story that I kept hearing that people were saying was going to happen didn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
Like the Horseman thing, right?
Yeah, everybody thought it was going to be multiple Horsemen getting revealed here, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, I guess there were, just a different...
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but that's what you associate it, with Apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
The Horsemen of Apocalypse. And so, you're looking at last season, you go, okay, well, Gambit's one of them. Who else are we going to get? Is that going to be cool surprises? And interestingly enough, there hasn't been, especially going into this episode, we really haven't had too much Apocalypse, I feel like.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, maybe we don't get the Horsemen, because then it would just ramp up so fast.
Yeah, we were talking about that, like, obviously everybody predicted he was going to be the Horseman of Death. And then when they started showing the trailers, it was implicated that maybe Iceman had died and Polaris was mourning him. So I was like, oh, is Bobby going to be a horseman? And then we knew that Magic was going to die because of the memorial. So we're like, is she getting brought back? And then just none of it happened. And it was like a great misdirect because all of us were just like going so hardcore down that path.
Just to give Alfredo or any new listeners some context, like, I'm just notorious for making dumb statements because I did not grow up on the comics. I grew up on the cartoon show and the action figures. So I'll just like say stuff out of pocket, and then like I think I have like a 50% hit rate now because like last season I said something to the effect of like, I don't know, maybe the Hulk will show up in the finale, and everybody was like, there's no way the Hulk is going to come and then Morph does a Hulk smash.
It's like,
you know,
podcasting with Ron.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't even say the Hulk. I think I specifically said the Hulk smash like was going to happen or something like.
That's the thing though, you know, you get those out of pocket plays, and then that's where the brain starts turning and everything. But similar to you, I grew up on the animated show, and then obviously moved into the movies, and it wasn't till like the past 7 years where I was like, okay, let me get into the comics. You know, so I started with X-Men, issue number 1, and about 250 issues into Claremont's run. But let me tell you, Claremont hits his peak and then it really drags. It's really soap opera-y. And I'm like, whoa. So it's ups and downs.
Yeah, so I have a pretty big empty space in like the Stan Lee run of it. Like I popped in during a lot of the Claremont stuff, but I think I read out of like the first 10 issues, and I'm like, I can't read Stan in the modern day. He's just so much text, you know.
It's very hard to get through.
Yeah.
And it's the thing. The reason I never got into it later in life is everybody here knows that I'm a goldfish. Like, I don't have a great memory. Like, I'm constantly like rereading stuff. Plus, it's expensive. So like all of this to just have like an Eternal Sunshine moment of everything. In fact, our friend Chrissy was at the recording at Moby's, and we went with her to see Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Like literally like a few days before that recording. And then when she popped up at Moby's, I was like, "You've seen Brand New Day, right?" And she like looked me square in the eyes, like, Rod, we went with you. I was like, that's right. So anyway, that's what's like being with me.
Oh my goodness. See, I read comics because of my goldfish brain. Because I'm like, I can't do a whole page of text. Give me pictures and then little bubbles with words.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother level.
I read comics. I'm like, wait, where did this character come from? And they were firmly established. So.
That rolls. You're reading the same bubble like 3 times.
Yeah. In weird orders. Anyway, so this episode, the previous on is Rogue again, which is interesting because we had theorized she was in other episodes previously on because they wanted to include her, but like they could have had her in this.
It's one of the only times I think it's been the same person 2 episodes in a row.
Yeah, so sure. This one made sense because it's Gambit, obviously.
Totally.
But it mostly focused on Rogue with Hotpocalypse and resurrecting Gambit. and stuff we knew. I don't. This one I wouldn't have been surprised if they were previously on. You get it. Anyway, onto the story.
I will say I did like that they used a lot of that fireside chat and put imagery over it because we were talking about it during the episode. It was a very weird moment, but then it led into so much of like the beats of this episode, like between the X-Ternal and everything like that, and the whole time travel issue of this, of like they cause literally all their own problems. Like this is their own fault, and all due respect to Rogue, this one is partially her fault. So.
She planted it in his head like this person's gonna mean so much to me in the future. Yeah, what's his name? Where did he live?
Oh, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that she's like, you should try loving something, and this is what caused part of this issue for him. So
yeah, this is the genesis of Apocalypse's Man of Fears podcast. Anyway, so then we get to the intro. I think the intro, from what I could tell, is mostly the same. Polaris seems like a staple now, and then they have like a little thing of Gambit and Rogue, like him kissing her on the hand or something.
The hand kiss, I think, was the only new clip from previous episodes. Everything else had come in a previous intro before.
Yeah.
So,
which
Alfredo, obviously, you never hit skip intro, right?
No. Okay. I watched with a handful of friends, and I made it very clear from 97 season 1 episode 1. I'm like, this will never be skipped.
Yeah.
And then also now with 97, they changed up the intro a little bit, you know.
Yep.
And so
Well,
we had
a lot every week.
Yeah, we had the X Factor one, which was like greatly changed, and I was like, "This rules!" I'm like, "This is awesome!" And so I'm now even more so, I'm never skipping it.
Last week at Scum and Villainy, I pulled out my phone right before they started airing the episode, and the entire bar is like singing along the theme song.
Awesome.
And we sent it to Ron Wasserman, who is one of our buddies who recorded the original version for X-Men 92. So, like, even if they didn't change it, it's not a song you could skip. You know?
Yeah. It just isn't. It just hits so well. It really sets up like the momentum going into an X-Men episode, and it just resonates with your childhood or the nostalgia. You know, when you're watching it, you just think about like, for me, I'm like, oh, watching this on a Saturday, sitting down on my knees, which I can't do anymore. Not at this age. Just sitting on your knees. I won't be able to get up. Eating, bowl of Lucky Charms, just watching my X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Disney were fun, instead of for this show specifically, instead of putting a skip intro button, they would put a repeat. That would be a fun gag.
It just says "run it back" on the bottom.
Yeah.
I am still so shocked that when they did the premiere, they made the parody cereal called Magnetos. That was like, it was only at the El Capitan like premiere that they did. I am shocked that has not been released like widely as something in the cereal aisle, because every one of us would have an empty box of those like sitting in our shelf right now as a display, no doubt in my mind. It's better than any Wheaties box they've ever produced, Oh,
100%. Everything gets graded nowadays. There's graded cereal boxes, and so I was like, don't do that. I'll be hunting that down. I'm like, need to get a graded Magnetos.
That might be one of the reasons they did that, right? To have this like weird rarity from this show, because
those were on eBay that night. I literally saw those get listed that night,
especially at the El Capitan, because my friend Carlos, who a lot of people know is the nostalgic Latino, he's been on the show too. He was at a Goofy movie anniversary, I think, and he got a cassette tape of Eye to Eye, the single. I was like, I fucking hate you, man. Like, it's like not only a cool single, but it's like a good song. Oh yeah, one of my friends got me one of those, and then I kept it and it burst.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Hey, it's the second week for a pun for JC. Anyway, okay, I'll just move on.
Great. It's a great song.
So the episode starts, and we're in Genosha again. They love reliving this moment.
So this was actually released in advance as a clip in Marvel Rivals. It was in like the Times Square like social lobby they have, that you could just watch this like opening clip in the game, which is really awkward because it's such a serious moment, and you just have like somebody who turns into giant orange Venom who's doing like the ass shake emoji and stuff like that at the time. It just totally kills the vibe of what this shot is.
It's like trying to see
a weird clip, especially because if you're thinking about the Marvel Rivals audience, you're thinking younger gamers and all that kind of stuff, and this is not something that would necessarily hold an attention span.
Yeah, it's anything they ever put in the Times Square segment, like, just know it cannot be taken seriously.
It's like seeing a movie at the little AMC inside the Burbank Mall. Like the AMC 16 is one thing where everybody sees it seriously. The one in the mall is always teenagers trying to cause trouble. So you could be in there like watching Schindler's List, and there'd be kids like shaking their ass at the screen or something. So they recreate the part where Rogue and Magneto dance, except Rogue is by herself. So this is like a signifier that this is like a dream, or knowing this world, Shadow King or something weird. But like she's having like a nightmare. She's dancing alone. It's almost kind of like a what if she had chosen Gambit, like outright thing, right? Because he's there, they slow dance, and then it does that like Texas switch or jump cut or whatever to evil Gambit, and he I don't know what he does to her. Like, it's just a strange like exorcist kind of thing.
Well, he talks about the whole like, I've always told you stuff is deeper than skin, and that's when she starts to get absorbed or powered up, however you want to view it, and you get the full on reveal of gray skin, white hair, everything like that. And the first time watching it through, I don't know why I didn't question it. How would she know what he looks like from just a dream. Like, she wouldn't know the color combination being accurate and everything like that.
True. That's a very good point.
So,
and I will say I was pretty happy that they just kind of went with Gambit's normal look and then decided to attack a little bit of the color combination that he had in the comics.
yeah.
Because if they went with how he looked, it was very metal.
Yes. With like the hair that's like fully down, hanging out on the side of his
fully down in
face.
his chest. It was all white, and he's got just like leather and chains, and like it was very metal.
Yeah. My interpretation of it is because one of the things that Apocalypse can do is thought projection, that it was literally, knowing what we know for the rest of the episode, it was him seeding that to her. That wasn't just a natural dream. That was actually him making it happen to already make her like start to doubt what is going on with Gambit. That's my theory, at least.
She's a little Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we cut to sometime later, like the next morning or something, or at evening. We don't really know what time has passed at X Corp, and the whole crew's playing poker. I guess that's their team building exercise, because they're all there. They're playing, and it's like a 80s sitcom version of a conversation, because they're all like, do like awkward, like ha ha ha, yeah, you and those cards. I don't know how card games work, so they're all yelling stuff at each other. I think there's a history behind the Dead Man's Hand, which Nightcrawler had.
Dead Man's Hand. I believe the urban legend is that was the hand that, I could be wrong, but I want to say it was Billy the Kid was holding when the fight broke out at the bar that he got shot and killed at.
Yeah. And so he thought
that's the infamy of aces and eights. So
he thought he won with that, and then Beast like beat him with another, to me, arbitrary card combination, but I guess it was just like a bam, you lost.
Three of a kind's better than two.
Yeah.
So
all the card players are yelling at me through the screens right now. I'm just trusting the narrative.
Neither's a really good hand, though. Like, neither is actually a really good hand. It's like they're both kind of like bottom tier. So,
and that's kind of what Beast alludes to, though, right? Is like he's like, it's not about having a good hand, but playing a poor one well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you missed saying it. It was Nightcrawler who was holding the Dead Man's Hand. So
yeah. So Nightcrawler had the Dead Man's Hand, and then Beast beat him with the other one. And a bunch of cheesy laughter. Rogue sighs, like obviously uncomfortable, and Xavier's like, "Is something wrong?" She's like, "No," and everybody just believes her. And then that gets interrupted with something intruding their airspace. And they go into like immediate lockdown, which that dude. This is like Elon Musk level, like private island security, right? Like
it really is. They just instantly activate electromagnetic force field, and it's just like, okay, you just have that technology.
Yeah, in like a couple months.
How much did X Corp cost? Is what I want to know. Because like they built a skyscraper on a island that is basically a giant graveyard. Nobody else is living there aside from them, and then put in all this crazy like defense technology at the same time.
Yeah, so it kind of leads credence to Magneto's claim last season when he's like, "With all these resources you had, you could have done this." And it's like, yeah, like you could like help people.
Yeah, like who's funding this, right? Like when you had
Charles's trust fund, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Because when you first had like the original, was it X Factor run? It was Angel, right? And then here I'm just like, Angel's nowhere to be found. I can't rely on that. Like, I guess Charles just has access to money,
and he's actually on the opposing side of things, right? Because that's what they find out, is that this ship that's coming in has like this like force field, like this telepathic force field on it, which is sure. And then of course Jean Grey can break through it. She senses her son on there. And it's Cable and Jubilee, and they're like, "Hey, we gotta stop in."
I love that they didn't think to just radio ahead, because they're not coming to fight, and Jubilee's obviously on good terms. They dropped off those kids who were prisoners of X Factor a few episodes ago in some capacity, so it's not like these two teams are fighting each other. But they're like, "Oh yeah, let's test out your security measures just for the hell of it."
Yeah, I don't know. Agents of Chaos. And so they land, and they casually wheel out Apocalypse's corpse, which none of the X-Men behaved like that was the first time they knew of it. So there had to been like a briefing between them landing, like, "Hey, we got Apocalypse's corpse on here." Because like when they're wheeling it off the ship, Scott and Jean are just like, "Hey, son," they're trying to like have a family moment. We're like,
Yeah.
Or this adversary that's existed for centuries that you've been trying to get rid of for decades is now seemingly dead. You want to deal with that?
Yeah, they were very chill about it.
They're very chill about it. Yeah, I completely agree. And they kind of don't touch on it too much. They're just like, right? They're just like, hey, Gambit's back. And then, like, okay, let's just put all of our attention's on that. Not the fact that Apocalypse, one of our biggest enemies, is dead. And we, you get I'm guessing that they're assuming that Gambit had a part in this, but no celebration, no like, what does this mean for us?
The thing that we've heard online, and like to some extent, like we agree with it too, is that a lot of the season feels very much on a speed run. So some of those scenes definitely feel like, maybe this was like a 45 to 50 minute episode, and they're like, let's just trim it and keep it like going and action packed and stuff like that. That was kind of like what the vibe was, but yeah, nobody even looks at Apocalypse's corpse and is like, hell yeah, somebody did it. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they just literally Jubilee handing, like, Rogue, there's something you should know, and she hands him like the burnt queen card, Yeah. And it's like, Gambit has got to be the easiest guy to frame in this Marvel universe. You just playing cards around.
Yeah, easy. Playing cards and that's it.
What kills me is, like, this is definitely where the prequel comic book is going, is, like, they've already alluded to the fact that War delivered the body of Gambit to Apocalypse, and that prequel comic is, like, telling that story, but the release cadence of that is so slow, we don't actually even get issue 3 of 4 until next week.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know who planned it the way that they did, but it is not... It's not giving you the background that it should be giving you. So
right.
I kind of have a theory too that at some point that maybe the crew making this was told that this was going to air like a couple months later, because this is a Halloween episode, and it feels like it could have happened in October.
Okay, that's fair.
Because like I don't know, but like it's just weird that they specifically had like Halloween take place during this episode. It could have been in New Orleans. It could have been anything. I mean,
that was just Mardi Gras. That's. So
no, there are Halloween decorations up.
Was there Halloween decorations?
There's pumpkins with like witch hats and stuff. Unless there's something like Mardi Gras. I'm like, yeah, see, it could have been any kind of like Mardi Gras thing or something. But it was like there was like you get pumpkins with witch hats and stuff.
Yeah,
and, like,
I think I was too busy focused on like looking for Easter eggs than to pay attention to things staring me in my face. So,
well, I guess like what's out before Doom? I guess Vision Quest, is that out this year?
September.
Yeah, so maybe that was the switch.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe it was. Maybe it's just something like this was all like so much before the, just stuff gets shifted and things. But anyway, so
it's also it is also broken out that they have Jubilee's been with Cable's team for months, plural. So at the very least, we know like the time frame of this season has taken up at least probably like a quarter of whatever is left of 1997 at this point.
So then we cut to Psylocke asking Professor Xavier to use Cerebro to look for Gambit, and they kind of get an argument about that because they're like, we're not going to help you like become one of your X-Force people or whatever. And then Cable kind of convinces him like, we just want it's Warren that convinces him like we just want Rogue to do what she did to me when I became a Horseman, and that kind of tracks. They do like just kind of trust everybody. I guess that's why like Jubilee and Sunspot are on the team, because then that helps them trust them, I guess.
Yeah, and also Jubilee being on the team for that long, it's like Professor's like, well, she probably hasn't watched too many people get mass murdered by Cable at this point.
Right, yeah.
And so they say, we just want to like rescue whatever remnant of Gambit's soul there is. And then Sunspot has this really ominous it's like, is there a soul left? It's like, dang, dude, read the room. But I guess that's a valid question.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with him. Like, the dude has been disowned by his family, so like his faith in people is not the strongest right now. So
yeah,
I get that. And then Nightcrawler is just like, I have to have blind faith in everything.
This is where I would disagree with Nightcrawler, because like now we're dealing with like demons and shit. Like.
Yeah, like where does your faith take you with demons and all that kind of stuff? You think you'd be hardcore against it because of the
He was not there for the Inferno episode, so he doesn't remember the actual demons coming out of the basement of the mansion. That's the problem.
True. Yeah.
He just saw his really shitty brother, or half brother.
I do kind of hope that at some point in X-Men 97, in one of these like 10 seasons that they're allegedly doing, we see, because Nightcrawler's really leaned into his faith in 97 more than 92, how he deals with like people like Apocalypse being in his universe, because like there's a lot of implications of like the Bible and characters like Apocalypse like named after the end times, and so like how do you anyway, that's a little side tangent. Also, Jake, anybody that knows this is watching the show, ideas, pitches, free pitches. And so they go to Cerebro. I'm not familiar with this. I'm sure you guys know it from the comics. That is now Cerebra. I'm sure. I don't know what that distinction is.
Stronger Cerebro, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like mobile or something like that. But and they use it to. And I did recognize the helmet that Professor Xavier has is like the. I think is it the Krakoa run that you've shown me, where he has like that helmet on. Is that the same
where
thing?
it covers like more of his face.
Yeah. Is that the same thing, or is it a reference? Yeah, it looks similar to me. Like.
I mean, I think it's just an alternate design of it. Visually, it does. I didn't even think of it when you said it, but yeah, it looks a lot like the Krakoan one where Chuck is able to walk around freely, but just keeps the helmet on the whole time.
Yeah, so he goes over to New Orleans, and it appears to be Halloween.
Before that, I was literally like doing like a double tap on my spacebar to hit every single frame. This is the smallest Easter egg that everybody is going to miss. There is a Jericho Drum MD psychologist sign. Rod, I know you do not know who that is.
Okay.
Fredo, do you know who Jericho Drum is?
No.
Dr. Voodoo.
Oh, snap. Okay.
It's like in the screen, it's like the bottom left hand, like just above the street level, and like I was literally going frame by frame to like, can I read any of the signs? And there's like generic like pizza and stuff like that, and then there's a little one that's Jericho Drum in the bottom corner. So that was like, I love when this team puts those like Easter eggs that only a certain level of nerd is going to even care about. So
I know there's just so many cool. I remember watching with my friend, we're watching the Brood episode, and I was like, I bet you they'll put the iconic cover of Wolverine and have that pose going on, and it's so cool being able to watch the show with friends and then like run to my closet and be like, it's from this cover.
Because of course you have that one too.
Have you seen those TikTok trends of like watching fill in the blank movie with the friend that knows too much? And there's always two people sitting there. One person's watching like normal, the other one's just running in and out of frame, like, and this is where, and then this is where.
Yep. Oh, 100%. Luckily though, the friends that I watch it with, they enjoy watching it with me, because then they're like, what does that mean? Or like every time we watch a movie, we always step outside and they're like, okay, debrief us. What's happening here?
you're the Eric Voss in real life. Yeah. That's another TikTok trend that like good on New Rockstars for having this become like a meme. It's like every time a new Marvel movie comes out, there's always someone that does a sketch of like walking out of the Marvels, walking out of Doomsday, and just like, hi, I'm Eric Voss.
To this day after a Marvel movie comes out, my mom will text me, do I need to watch anything before I go to this movie so I understand it? And I'll tell her if there's something she needs to watch, and then she'll watch the movie and then be like, cool, what was XYZ? And it's just me like clarifying a few things for her. But this one, for Spider-Man, I was like, no, you don't need to watch anything, because you're not going to watch the Punisher special presentation. So
and that didn't even really like connect.
No,
all that much.
It was just I knew she never watched Punisher on Netflix, so I'm like, he's a guy with guns who swears. So she literally asked me, I was like, oh yeah, you didn't watch the Punisher thing, you didn't need to. She's like, oh, is that who Frank was? And I was very, very upset with her.
It might actually made more sense if she didn't watch the Punisher in those series, because having watched that, the Hand, it becomes very confusing.
Yeah.
In Brand New Day.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think we're supposed to think about it. It's just like, we reached into the toy box. Be happy with it.
Yeah. That's where most people are like, oh, I know them.
Yeah. And they're completely different than the one we saw before.
It's a Leonardo DiCaprio meme just pointing at the screen. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so Xavier is projected into New Orleans, and he sees the back of who he thinks is Gambit, but then, like, Gambit sneaks up on him and jump scares him, or evil Gambit.
Deathbit.
And, yeah, Deathbit, is that his, okay.
That's what the internet referred to him as, Deathbit.
So we have Hotpocalypse and Deathbit.
Yep.
That's going to be a fanfic somewhere.
Oh, it's definitely already on certain websites.
And so he pushes him out in like a really violent way. The Cerebra helmet like falls on the ground. I love Cyclops. He's like, anyway, did you find him? Did you want to check if he's possessed or dead or something?
I'm like, the helmet. I mean, at this point, how traumatized are the people at this school? You know, I'm sure they've seen this. Like Charles go in, try and find someone. And then like the helmet pop off. He's like, all right, but did we get it though? You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be fine. It's happened before.
That was true. Really, really good Professor X shell, honestly. Like that was spot on, Fredo. That was like Ross Marquand would be like in his job for that one. But here's the only one who I think should be a little concerned is Psylocke, because all the others know Xavier to some extent. She's barely interacted with him. She's not even like, oh, should we check on him? Because she's like, I'm a badass ninja who kills everybody. So she's like, forget having empathy at this point.
Yeah. I guess that does make sense for X-Force, because now we know they have an ulterior motive, so they don't care. I don't know why. Like, I guess Cyclops is just traumatized enough. I guess the last episode we saw him see the news and be like, so probably now he's just like over it.
Yeah.
But Xavier says he's gone home, which I did recognize because we rewatched the original series, and it's like a really ominous thing to say because Gambit said that the bayou was not his home when he left it in the last series. So,
which was
little tell.
Like I was trying to figure it out. I had to look up the list on it. That was season 2 of the original series. That's how long ago that was. That was season 2. Episode 6, and the episode was called X-Ternally Yours, was where they went through that.
So does that imply that Apocalypse was an Xavier for a second? Or that was just like a message? Okay, got it. All right, that makes sense then. So this is another miss on Cyclops' part as a leader.
I mean, literally there's like purple smoke coming out of the helmet and his mentor's head, and he's just like, so you know where we're going?
Yeah.
To his credit, Xavier healed himself up pretty fast. He was like able to actually spit it out, and like they probably got on the jet fairly quickly after that. So props to him.
I would love if there's like a meta context where Cyclops recognizes the designations of power colors. He's like, oh, purple. I don't think that one's bad. Okay, anyway, did we get it? Like,
there's gotta be a level of Professor X's pain that comes out of Cerebro where he just gets, it's not a code blue. You know?
Yeah. But back in the bayou, I guess there's a church for the X-Ternal.
Yeah.
It was so funny when this episode started, when I watched it at midnight when it came out, I was actually thinking like, we never got back around to the X-Ternal. I wonder if they're going to mention her. She's just going to be the episode. And like, this is such an interesting like expansion on like the lore from the original 92 series. She was so random, the original series.
I love that they put so much into this character that was a throwaway episode from the original series. Like, the whole Belladonna, the guilds, and then the X-Ternal was just like, this is so random. It's because of the direction of Network and Saban that they were just like, we want these like whole seasons of bottle episodes, basically, which I get. But it was just like, wow, they're giving so much back to what that story was back then.
I think that's the beautiful thing about X-Men, right? You get so many characters and you get a lot of throwaways, and it just gives the ability for writers and show producers to do cool things with it. You know, I mean, look at Myra McTaggart, and then look what Hickman did, you know, during the House and Powers. And I was like, that just completely changed the landscape of that character.
It made her a character I finally gave a shit about after reading comics
how many decades?
30 years of reading comics, and I finally cared about her at House of X, you know?
Yeah.
And with all of that, there was still Kane. There's like, just on a spike.
Yeah.
quick version of that one, Fredo. My theory is that was a FU from the team to Rob Liefeld of, hey, this is one of your characters, and just threw him through a tree because they knew he was going to talk about Deadpool being in that episode, so they wanted like that little dig on him. That's my theory. So.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
Or he's the one that comes back as a horseman. That would be dumb. But yeah, so the thieves and the assassins meet up. It's all the original crew from that season two episode, was it?
Yep.
And they meet up, and is that funny? Like when you're trying to set up your friends thing from the 90s sitcoms, they're like, "What did you want us here for, Belladonna?" And she's like, "Why would I invite myself?" Like, what a strange conversation. And then Gambit does like the Spawn intro. Like he lands like Spawn did. You know, it was like the smoke and in the church and everything. It's super
and I love
cool.
how he's basically holding everybody like at quote unquote knife point to their neck by having a charged card ready to go into them. And then just does it anyway. Like that was my favorite part. It's like, I'm going to threaten you and scare the shit out of you, and then I'm going to still absorb all of you. So
my note here was he exposition dumps and then uses his dark cards to possess everyone. But what is happening with those cards? I'm not familiar with this like alteration of the power set.
I mean, I don't remember that being a thing specifically from any stories I've ever read, Alfredo. Like if you remember one, but it's essentially like his way of exerting control over them and make them his thrall kind of scenario. But I don't remember that from the Gambit as Death Horseman storyline back then.
No, but it was cool. It's cool that they take the liberty to do stuff, and of course it might have been like a throwaway issue, but there's just so many X-Men issues that it's hard to keep track of. But I do like the fact that one, seem to have taken some liberties, but also at the same time they do a very, very good job of just giving us subtle things, even in the way he moves, where you go, oh, he's different and he's powerful. I mean, the Spawn landing in general, I'm like, when can Gambit move like that? Like, what are we? Whoa, this is crazy. And then the ability, he has his cards, as he always does, but then it hovers, and it's like, oh, you have a certain level of control now with your cards.
Yep. Like when he was doing the shuffle with his hand, like above his hands,
too.
without his hands moving, really.
Yeah. So
but it didn't seem too wild, though. Where it's like, oh, this is a different character altogether.
I know that like the running thing of X-Men 97 both seasons is that every storyline kind of speed runs. Like every story happens in a single episode, right? For the most part. But I would have loved to seen this version of Gambit be like kind of like a big bad for like a whole
like a half a season or something like that.
Agree.
That would have been cool to kind of see him like kind of pop in and out of storylines. That would have been really cool. Because he's such a cool, even in the battlefield with the mind with Xavier, like it's just a cool visual and everything.
Yeah, I mean, later on this episode, we see Nightcrawler fighting and with such intensity, and you just think to yourself, what if we had Gambit do that for a handful of episodes against a handful of different good or bad characters? And like that would have been wild.
Yeah, he does also say my least favorite line of the entire episode with the death is evolution. I was like, oh, did you guys have to do that one line? That was the one part where I'm just like, they've just been hitting us over the head with evolution all season. And I was like, all right, we get it, guys. Mutants evolve, everything. We get it. Chill a little bit on that one. So.
Or it's like in the trailers in the earlier Apocalypse, or it's like the 90s. I'm just like, how many
1990s.
How many times are we going to mention the 90s? Like, what are we doing?
That would be funny if that was like a studio note.
Oh, it's
like
100% a studio note.
Had to be like an X number of like mentions of that or something,
An X number.
Oh yeah.
I hate myself that I said that out loud.
Yeah, I didn't say it. Or I technically did, but you pointed out. But then back on the big aircraft thing, Jubilee and Rogue are having like a heart-to-heart, and then the Summers family is attempting a heart-to-heart. But what's kind of like an interesting thing about this conversation is I didn't realize until this scene happened that, we never really wrapped up the Cable alluding that he knew his parents in the original series. So this was kind of what you were saying with like the X-Ternal and the thieves and the assassins and stuff, like kind of closing up a loose thread from the original show. And he's just like, what would it have done?
Well, it also gave the impression that he's tried, and the times rules stopped him from doing it, because he was like, it's gonna pull me back like it always is, because we know he tried to do that with saving Maddie, and it was 200 times he tried to save her before he finally gave up, because the wristband on computer just kept pulling him back. So
and then back in the main, I don't know, war room part of the ship, I don't know what this vehicle is. It's massive.
It's a multi-floor bomber, basically. I don't know, Fredo, if you know anything about military planes or anything like that, but this thing felt like it had multiple levels. It was 3 levels from the windows on the side of it. So
they have their own Air Force One.
Yeah.
It
feels
felt
bigger than Air Force.
Yeah, it feels larger and more militarized, but that thing was massive. I'm like, okay, yeah, we just have access to a bunch of stuff, and they're in the air again in the vehicle. So at some point, you're gonna think it's gonna blow up. It always does. We're gonna lose this too.
Yeah, it's just the shape of the mansion. Okay, this is gonna explode at some point. But Jean and Psylocke say they sense a swarm of, really interesting description, black holes where souls should be, which I kind of wish that they would have extrapolated a little bit more what that is, or maybe they will in the next episode or something, because that's kind of an extension of my question, what did Gambit do to these people, yeah, I don't know, because I don't know, I guess they're being puppeted, is that what the implication is?
Yeah,
took their souls and they're being, I don't know, but the black hole thing is a wild
right, because black hole
statement.
Kind of, it doesn't imply that it's caged, it implies it's gone.
There's nothing. Yeah. These little vacuums. And then we have a favorite trope, Alfredo on here, was big old fight, where it's we could spend the next 20 minutes describing this incredible fight choreography, but it was a great fight in space with a bunch of possessed
air, not space.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're not in space on this episode.
Oh, they are. They wait. Oh yeah. Okay. I guess because it's got to sell the stars. I thought space. Anyway, no. But they it's the possessed thieves and assassins and the X-Men and X-Force all fighting. And then that's all the distraction for Rogue to go find Gambit.
I love that there's the quick moment where Belladonna and Bobby, who is Gambit's brother, pop in, and Rogue is asking questions, and Cyclops is no, fight now, worry about them later. He's just let's go. He does not want to deal with anybody's bullshit right now.
That's funny.
No, there's a lot of drama. Then he's we gotta just start throwing fists.
Yeah. So all that's a distraction, so the Rogue can go find Gambit. She does, power of love or something, I don't know. And so she finds him in a warehouse part of the ship, and they have a little bit of dialogue, and she tries to just slip the same thing she did to Archangel, but it doesn't work. So
there's nothing, there's no spark or anything. So it's not even when her and Magneto, there would be the spark between them. It was literally just I can't feel you. It's calling back to the end of Remember It, essentially.
So I wonder if they're going to explain that in the finale, because I think in the original show she did something to Apocalypse, right? It worked on him. Definitely works on Gambit.
Yes, she grabbed him from behind or something like that, I want to say.
And so I'm kind of not sure what that was then. If Gambit's possessed by Apocalypse and it's that none of those combinations work, or I'm just as confused as she is. She's wait, what?
She's kind of touching a walking corpse right now, so.
Yeah.
But he bleeds later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I do like the moment though, because she finally gets to touch him, and at that big episode in season 1 of 97, she finally got to touch him, and it was in death, and it's still here, even him being quote unquote alive, it's still in death in the sense.
It's real monkey's paw.
Seriously.
And so Gambit kind of takes her out pretty easily. He's literally sleep, and they lose both Rogue and Nightcrawler to Gambit because Nightcrawler tries to go and get her.
Yes.
When they
I
retreat.
love that because Gambit is so familiar with how somebody like Nightcrawler fights, that he knows it's like, all right, I'm going to throw my card, but he doesn't know I could redirect my cards and get him after he bamfs.
Yeah. And I don't think they will go back and talk about this, but I would love for them to show, because remember in the original series when Wolverine got liquefied and then he was just kind of like needed therapy for a couple days after.
Yes,
to mess him up.
Proteus episode. Yep.
Yeah. I kind of want to know what being possessed by death or apocalypse or something does to a man of that much faith in this world. You know, like if they said it's a black hole where a soul should be, and he is it's like implying that he had the equivalent of like losing his soul for like an in-universe Christian, like that does something to you. Or like after you come out of that, like that you're a changed person, right? Like
that's a good point. And you could even still kind of tackle that because of the fact that, you know, Gambit kind of manipulated him and controlled him, corrupted him.
Yeah.
Yeah, to skip like a little bit ahead, when he's in the room with Rogue, he gave me the vibe of like a vampire's like minion, because he's just like, oh, you're the guest of honor at this thing, and just his delivery is so off and stilted. It was like, what vampire movie did they pull the inspo from on this one? You know?
Yeah.
And so then Cable, I think, wants to go after them, but then Cyclops is like, we need every telekinetic to get this big ass ship that's like larger than life down. So I guess Cable knows he's right. I forgot that Cable's telekinetic, but I definitely didn't know.
Well, they made a big point of that in the finale of last season when they were fighting Sinister. Yeah. So
I've forgotten, but I definitely did not know he had that extent of telekinetic power. They made it seem like he was the majority of it at the end.
He also goes like full-fledged Super Saiyan with it. Like, it's like blasting out like total. I don't watch DBZ, but it's like if I think of what a Goku like power moment is, that's what it looks like animated to me.
There's a lot of
yes,
that in the show.
Except that it would be over the span. The powering up moment would be over the span of 4 episodes.
So it's the opposite pacing of X-Men 97. Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be funny.
4 episodes for 4 minutes as opposed to 4 years in 4 minutes. So yeah.
Yep.
Man, if there's any like shit posters out there with time, I think it'd be funny because X-Men 97 both seasons have this like we always said like 10 to 20% like anime, right, kind of vibe. If someone just re-edited X-Men 97 in the format of like a Naruto or something or a DBZ, but only the existing footage, and just keep repeating things and like, you know, like, and make it like a 30 episode like season out of 8 or 9.
You draw out those moments and then you throw in like One Piece pacing and you have yourself a whole 30 minutes.
Anyway, then it hard cuts to the mansion where they're watching the news. I'm guessing that's Trish again. It looks like
it is Trish. Yep.
And I think at this point we're just supposed to believe Trish is either not a good person or has a proverbial gun to her head, right? Because everything is just kind of like propaganda coming from her this whole season. So she literally says like, we can't tell if it's a terrorist attack or a crash. I was like, well, if it's a terrorist attack, it was a really poor one because it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I do love the line that Morph drops though. He doesn't have a lot of dialogue in it, so it's like, oh, the news is freaking the kids out, so I put The Exorcist on, which is like that is the best like queer uncle coded like way of parenting possible, and
it really
just nails it. Have you guys done that on Movie Club yet, Fredo?
Exorcist? We have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've probably seen the entirety of The Exorcist, but I've never seen it in one single sitting. Not intentionally. It's just like one of those like, oh, was that somewhere? It was on at the start and I had to leave. I've seen the middle, I've seen the end, but never like straight through, which is not the way to watch that movie. No,
not at all. But it's one of those movies that just plays and you just watch bits and pieces, like Resident Evil, right? Like the 2000s Mila Jovovich one. It's like you just always see it on TV and you're watching 5 minutes at a time here and there, random parts.
See, with the Resident Evil movies, especially the first one, I actually like that's my sit down and like, I love that movie. I love it so much.
We did it for movie club, and I'm like, it's fun. It's so fun. Not a great movie, but it's really fun. Which I'm also really excited for the new Resident Evil movie.
Oh yeah, everything except for the last reboot attempt. The one
that had the Amell brother in it.
I guess, yeah.
I think Robbie Amell was in it.
Welcome to Raccoon City or something.
Yeah.
That one hurt. But like, no, the original one, like, I love that it had the PS1 pacing. You know, it's like you could see the load screens. You know, like, why are we on 10 full seconds of this curtain blowing in the wind? I love shit like that. Like, for that game, because it's like, it just got the vibe right. Because otherwise, it's just a horror movie, right?
Yeah, true.
Anyway, so a little anecdote with The Exorcist. I watched this is one of the few memories I have. I watched The Exorcist in Korea with my cousins when I was maybe like 8 or 9. I don't know how to ask my parents, and I was a terror. So this is back at the time where like my grandparents still had the traditional Asian houses with like the paper walls, you know, with like the like thin wood and stuff. And I thought it'd be funny because I'd heard about the vomit scene, to go to the bathroom, and then I burst through the wall when that scene happened and scared all my cousins. And I got in so much trouble because I destroyed a wall, but it was worth it.
Destroyed a whole wall. Was they terrified? Do you still see their vivid faces to this day?
Yeah, I talked to one of my cousins, actually. Actually, one of my cousins is a really famous K-pop dancer. He's on tour with BTS. So he still talks about it. Like,
some weird lore drop episode today, Rod.
Oh, really? You didn't know that? Yeah, I think you knew about Min Sung. Min Sung, yeah. So it's funny, like, Min Sung's so famous that people follow me because I'm related to him. But he's BTS's choreographer, and he's been since the beginning, and he dances with them and stuff.
Yeah, that's massive.
If you want to follow Min Sung, if you're not already, is Minbro on Instagram. His IG stories are crazy right now because he's just posting from where BTS is on tours. He's like Munich, Paris, you know, like.
That's wild. There's like,
so that
we're
kid
an
I got
X-Men
to
podcast.
Yeah, so that kid's the one I got to scare through the wall, but. To their credit, it didn't take that long to put back up this paper. It's meant to be rebuilt. But anyway, so we find out that the school teachers are Morph, Wolverine, Forge, Storm. Did I miss somebody?
Colossus is. I don't know if he's formally a teacher, but they're just like, hey, this guy who was just one of the acolytes a few weeks ago can watch the kids, and no mention of Polaris. Like Polaris is just completely forgotten about in this episode.
But she's in the intro. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But I love that Storm is just like, I guess I had assumed that when she went to the white outfit, she had just like moved on from that 70s outfit. But I guess this is just her like
casual wear.
So I don't know. Like she's like, I'm the headmistress of the school now, so now I have I don't know, whatever. But Storm is like, well, we got to go help them, which I think is technically illegal with all the stuff that Val Cooper said, right? Like they can't, can't but they did it anyway, which. It feels like that they mentioned that specifically so that Val maybe has something for the finale, right?
Well, especially because it's also on American soil. Like that was part of why Xavier was able to get away of the last thing being in Savage Land. This is happening in New Orleans, you know?
Yeah. And going back to what you had mentioned happened, Rogue wakes up in a creepy mansion. Nightcrawler, zombified Nightcrawler, like takes her to a creepy dinner with Gambit, which I just have to... Like, I wonder if this is like a Get Out Sunken Place thing, where like, is Nightcrawler aware of what's happening? You know, he's just like stuck. Because if you just paint this scenario, like you're being possessed by like an ancient force, and your sister is kidnapped, and then you have to escort her to a date with her undead boyfriend. That's what happened.
They kind of don't really. They don't really address like, is he aware of it, or is it like he's gonna wake up and just be like, where did I go? You know?
Yeah.
And Gambit does another exposition dump. He tells Rogue about how when the X-Ternal... This is actually kind of good writing when you think about it. Like, the X-Ternal was left behind with the whole King the Conqueror situation, but her civilization got wiped out by Apocalypse. So she held this grudge, seduced this man, got in a relationship with him, and then asked
And it
for
wasn't
pardon
even
his...
the hot version of it. It was like the post-transformation apocalypse.
Yeah. And then took a piece of his power, or like convinced him to give her a piece of his power in like jewelry form, which is extra cunty. Like, and then like as soon as she has it, just takes off. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
I wonder how long she was like faking the relationship with him. Like she had to like get into it with him and like convince him that it's legit. And this is what I was alluding to with the previously on. It's like Rogue was the like, you should try falling in love with somebody. If Rogue never said that, would Apocalypse have been open to Chandra, made her the X-Ternal, and then literally this is what fucks up the future again, you know?
Yeah, probably not, right? Because it implies that they had like connected very shortly after the events of that episode where they left the time. And so I like to think that she long gamed this for centuries. That would be so fun. I'm sure someone did the math.
I don't think she could have long gamed it because she wouldn't have been an eternal like character. She would have aged like a normal human. But she at least like she had to put some time in to like get close enough for the guy who's like murdering civilizations to fall in love with her too, you know?
That's right. I forgot she was just a human before.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay. I didn't think about that. But that's still so great. And then she escapes to the bayou. It's a fun choice.
Yeah, an interesting place to escape to.
Going from ancient Egypt when it was still obviously to her modern day Egypt, but then just like across the world and randomly is like, I like swamps.
Yeah. And like at a height of Egypt too, it seems like, or a pretty high point.
And so Gambit explains like, well, if you can take her power, the amulet, it'll make you immortal, and then we can live eternity together. Sounds like a nightmare, but it's tempting for her.
He uses a lot of like card puns, and this is where like obviously Gambit would make puns, but it was more make bad puns because it's Apocalypse puppeting Gambit as opposed to it being like suave and debonair. Like it was like this is how somebody would pretend they're pretend they're Gambit rather than like how he would actually talk to her. Like Apocalypse knew he had to like play the role essentially.
Right.
And so she's like, I don't know, kind of sounds good. I guess it's that vampire conundrum, right? Like if or is it that's what Twilight was about, right? I only watched the first movie.
Never watched it.
I'm assuming it's something like that. And then this is where my note has like, and this is the origin of Apocalypse's Man of Fear podcast. And back at the swamp, they have like where the altar was. I don't know how to describe that place.
Yeah, it was the altar where they put the tithes of like the two guilds trying to sacrifice for her essentially.
Yeah, so it starts off with that tithing thing, and then kind of turns into a wedding with Rogue coming down, like flying down with like the veil on her head and stuff. And
I'm fully convinced, by the way, that is one of Belladonna's dresses, which makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just weird. Yeah.
You have to wear my X's.
Because there's not a bunch of dresses. There's only like one woman in the two guilds. So who's this going to come from?
It's true. It's late at
the
night.
same size.
Oh, that makes it worse.
Yeah. And they summon the X-Ternal. They have this sword. I'm not familiar with this thing, but they showed it basically. They handed Gambit the sword, and then he like cuts himself with his hand. So that's why I mentioned he bleeds.
Right.
And it doesn't look like zombie blood or something. So like it looked like he fresh bleeds, and that's how they summon the X-Ternal. And it seems like it's like off cycle from the tithing thing, right? Because she's pretty upset when she wakes up.
Yeah, because it was probably like every 10 years or something like that previously. So this is, if it was in season 2, that makes it 93. So she's like only been asleep for 4 years, which she's not happy about apparently.
Yeah.
It's like an underworld type thing, with the vampires. Like, why'd you wake me up? It's not my turn yet. Yeah.
And then this next part is the part that JC texted me about the night this first aired. So Gambit demands her amulet, her power. She's like, "Ha, that's funny." No, And she starts delivering this dramatic, like, storm-like monologue, and he's like, no time for this, and just stabs her.
Yeah. He's like, look, Disney, the higher-ups, they're not down for this pacing. All right? That was 92 pacing, okay? We got to keep moving. Anyways.
We got one monologue already this episode.
Yeah. We
scythe through the chest, kill a god in, like, 4 seconds, basically.
Yeah, so that's what JC said. It's like, you have this, like, centuries-old immortal being. They just got killed by Gambit, of all people. Now it's an apocalypse-possessed Gambit. We don't know that yet, though. just instantly.
Yeah. No respect whatsoever. It's like it's a Kratos moment. It's just like, you're done. I don't want to even listen to your bullshit right now. Just finish it.
It's funny because we were talking about, like, oh, they gave this kind of throwaway character in the show, like, a little bit more purpose, and she's gone.
And then the Blackbird arrives with the professors, I guess, essentially, the school staff. And then I put the biggest old fight happens. It's kind of like a cool, like, a wallpaper shot, right? Because you see all the X-Men and X-Force on one side. You see the thieves and the possessed people on the other side. And it kind of it was a reminiscent, closest thing to the intro mashup. I think we have where there's two sides running at each other. And a bunch of stuff happens. I will say,
definitely 97 makes Grant Morrison X-Men outfit look stomachable. Because, man, it did not look great during the actual, like, was it 2001 series?
Yeah.
It just wasn't the body proportion was all weird. Cyclops had big, wide, square body, and I don't know. Beast was like a cat with, like, no neck.
I'm so happy they haven't done the cat thing. Like, that is, like, one of those things that I was just like, they did what they did. They've reverted him back. They've completely fucked up the character in the modern era. So, like, that's a whole other thing. But, like, the visual of that, I'm like, it's dumb. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was. And it's a good run story-wise. It's just, like, it's the art is very hard to stomach. And in 97, they were like, look, we're going to pay homage to it. We're going to bring it back. But we're going to keep it, modern and sleeker.
Yeah. And it was a wide variety because Wolverine was in his brown outfit.
Wolverine was in his brown outfit.
Yep. Brown suit.
Yep. And then our favorite game, Rod. Who does Morph transform into?
I can't remember. I just know it's an Earth-powered person because, like, I always thought that they were an alien, but then when this character popped up before, they had, like, earthquake powers or something. I don't know.
Fredo, do you know the answer? Who that was that Morph turned into?
I'm trying to visualize who Morph turned into.
It was a gray alien-looking character.
Okay, because you're talking about, like... Yeah, I don't know. So,
Rod, you said the answer without knowing it.
Oh.
It is Earthquake from the Imperial Guard. The character's name is literally Earthquake, and you said Earthquake powers, and I was trying to no-sell you on that.
Oh my god! Nice. Yeah, as soon as you said Earthquake powers, I'm like, not Avalanche, like, or anything like that. We saw him in the prison.
So, Earthquake appeared in the original series as a danger room fight, where it was the one where, or sorry, not danger room, a Mojo fight, where it was him, the Hulk, and I think Punisher were the random fights that were happening in that episode. But yes, that was an Imperial Guard reference. So Morph, who has never gone into space, has been studying all the files that the X-Men have brought back from their journeys. So
I love the use of Morph in 97. It's just such a beautiful way to have cameos. Like that Spider-Man, I think it was during the Wolverine episode, the Weaponized one. I was like, oh, fantastic.
Well, I love before he does the transformation that it's just like running around with guns, just like two hands out, like Star-Lord and Marvel Rivals, basically. And then they're like, oh, it's just better for me if I could just turn into somebody like Earthquake and utilize those powers and then just get bodied too. So, yeah. And then we get Nightcrawler just drops 12 people in a row.
Awesome use of Nightcrawler again, right? We had an awesome use of him during season 1 of 97, where we got to see through Wolverine's eyes, maybe, like bamfing through, which was awesome to see. And here it's just like quick successions, like a Hollywood action movie.
A lot of it was first-person perspective on it.
Yeah, first person, fist to face, and just like, yeah, he would be like, is he gonna take people out? Not really. Is he gonna be annoying as hell? Yeah, yeah, he is.
Yeah, this kind of reminded me of the aggression that he had in the opening. Was it X2, the movie?
Oh, when he was trying to assassinate
Also White House.
Also, freaking, he was possessed there too. Poor Nightcrawler. Like, he just always... He has his best fights when he's possessed. But in the middle of all this hoopla, Gambit grabs the amulet and like puts it on Rogue. I'm kind of confused at this point of what Apocalypse's motive is. Did he wants to take Rogue for this? Because I thought he was just using all this to trick to get his power back.
I think that's the part that's still unanswered. Is like, what was the point of Apocalypse possessing Gambit? Mm-hmm. It's not crystal clear, and I think that's probably a part of what the info dump next week is going to be.
Okay.
I do think a part of this is also knowing that it's Apocalypse inside of Gambit. It was his way of getting revenge on Chandra for dumping him, 5,000 years prior. But Rogue was also the one who was showing him a little bit of like respect at the fireside before the turn. Like, she never seemed like she was manipulating him. So it's maybe if I can't have Chandra, I could get this other person who wasn't a piece of shit to me. I could be way off on that, but that's kind of the vibe.
Apocalypse is doing his version of, remember in like the 80s like cartoon tropes, or maybe even 70s cartoon tropes of the caveman just like claiming their woman and dragging them by their hair, like like that. The thing was like, you're mine. That would make sense. Yeah, interesting.
Just because she was the one who wasn't crappy to him, like compared to Xavier and Magneto.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so
she passed.
campfire chat. That would make sense. It just feels like we have to piece it together ourselves and theorize. I mean, granted, we still got 2 more episodes left. So.
One.
It's only 9 this season.
9. Okay, well that's heartbreaking. I was like 2 more. Damn. Okay, we really didn't get. We got a good amount of Apocalypse. I guess it's not in a way I thought we would get, which is nice. Usually, how many times have we heard Apocalypse and the Horsemen and the X-Men fight them? And so I get it. It's cool.
And we still don't know what happened with future Apocalypse, who just took off out of that base. So, like, do we get next episode that there's like future body of Apocalypse and modern soul like combines? Like, they could get wacky with the next episode, I feel like.
I feel like we do, because maybe we've seen some footage of that in the trailer, but it just seems so fast. Because in my mind, I was like, okay, we have 10 episodes, and then the last 2 will probably be about Apocalypse in the future. But how do you cram that into 1 episode?
So there's people out there that know, because there was like a friends and family screening at the Burbank AMC 16. I don't know for sure because none of the people there spoiled it for me, but the rumor is the last episode's a little longer. And so there's a small group of people out there who have seen the finale already.
Okay.
Outside of the cast and crew, there are like a few normies who are there. Yeah.
So maybe that's how they fit it in. It's just a little longer or something. But we'll see. I also don't know how the heck all this ends, because there's so many like stories happening in this season.
There is a lot.
But so Rogue passes out as soon as she gets the power, and then Xavier stuns Evil Gambit as soon as that happens.
Also, why did Xavier wait until after Nightcrawler kicked the shit out of everybody? Like, he could have started sooner. He's just chilling in the jet doing nothing.
So, what episode? Who did we have on where she pointed out that Xavier's always just off in the wings? You see, because he
Pokekells, yeah.
Was it? Oh yeah. So
Kelly.
Kelly, Alfredo, we were talking about how like whenever you don't think Xavier's there, and then it'll come to this like climactic moment, and then he'll just like wheel in from the side and be like, "Anyway, kids," and we're like, "Where did you come from?" Like,
that's a good point. He's kind of taken the place of, like, for me, Jean during the original series, where it's just like, you're so powerful, but the way you're being written just makes you non-existent until you need to be. And the original series, Jean would do something, and then all of a sudden, and it's like fades over instantly. every time. I'm like, okay, you would be such a good help if you could just get it together for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And
so
now
I feel like
Charles, like, I'm going to stay here and do nothing until you need me.
So I feel like this time we're just actually seeing it, right? Just seeing him wait until it happens. Because there was an episode of The Simpsons, I don't know, several years ago, where, because you know how whenever Homer, like, Marge asks him something and then he has this inner monologue that's like a funny bit or whatever. There was this one episode where they don't go into the monologue and it's just Homer staring at Marge for like a full 30 seconds. And then Marge is like, homie, you worry me when you disappear for a while. Like, so I like the thing we're just now seeing, like, Xavier just sitting in the side waiting. He's like, okay, now.
Yeah, my time.
It's like he's having a little bit of too much faith in his students, and it's like, oh, I should have intervened about 15 seconds ago, guys. Sorry.
I kind of recognize this, but luckily about the internet pointed this out and really heavy-handedly after the episode. But he gives the exact same dialogue as he did in the Phoenix Saga or something, where he's like as Jean did with the combine the power of the Mcron crystal, I'll down to the like. Well, he can never complete that statement.
He's like, I'm going to use the power of blank because we don't find out what his blank is.
Yeah,
either. Yeah.
He always fails, and then he has the same armor thing. With the weird cage face.
That was a reference to the armor, season 4, episode 5. Xavier remembers where he fought Shadow King on the astral plane. Yeah,
and Gambit brings up a good point because Professor Xavier says like in the battlefield of mind, like my will is done or something like that, and Gambit's like, where was that during Genosha? It's like, that's a good point. That was everything we were just talking about. Like, where was this immense power before?
he had a legit excuse. He was millions of light years away in space banging his bird wife.
Yeah, little Andra.
And then getting told he was from the Milky Way ghetto by his future sister-in-law.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so once again, family drama ruins the universe.
Mm-hmm. It's the, early X-Men soap opera type of stuff,
Which still,
bird wife.
The worst design version of Xavier ever is still that helmet from when he was in space with the Shi'ar. That gold helmet is the ugliest thing ever.
It's so bad.
So then they have a really cool fight. There's some cool like card fight stuff from Gambit in there, and Xavier almost loses. He puts up a good fight, but you can tell that he's not going to win this. But he does eventually get like Gambit to start peeking out, so we find out Gambit's soul's still there somewhere.
It's positioned as if he's not the one in control because he's reaching out from the chest, and then Apocalypse like comes out through like the shoulders of like a more dominant position, for lack of a better phrase. Yeah,
like he's driving, but they're both there. And then outside we see a little vignette of like in the real world, X-Force double crosses the X-Men. Cable goes to like he gets everybody to like hold the X-Men like hostage, and then Cable's gonna go in for the kill shot, and then Jean is like, every mom is like, don't make me get over there.
Don't make me take over your mind. It's like the most mutant threat ever.
Yeah.
Again, it's the soap opera of it all. There's the villains and the heroes, but there's so much like personal drama with everybody.
Yeah.
It's also just the Summers family as a whole just has like, everybody has the worst relationship. One brother's in space. They don't even know about that poor guy. This is your mom's clone who's trying to discipline you because she has memories of being your mom. And then like, he's like, well, I'm going to play nice with dad and fake mom, and then I'm going to try to kill their friend. Like, it's just the worst dynamic.
Yeah.
And then nobody knows, like, at this point still, that Havoc is even their other brother. Like, that still has not been addressed in the show.
Right. I was just like, wait, hold on a second. Polaris is just hanging out with Havoc, and, like, what are going on here? And I think did they even refer to him as Summers at some point?
He got called... I mean, he got called, like, bargain bin Cyclops.
Oh, yeah, it was knockoff Cyclops.
Knockoff Cyclops, yeah.
But I was just like...
But yeah, Polaris should recognize the last name, right? Like, she's been on both teams.
Yeah, I was like, Polaris should be the link there that goes, hold on. But I don't know, they're just acting like they're not related.
Yeah. So in the middle of all that struggle, Rogue, like, I guess we see her fingers twitch and stuff, and then she shows up in the battlefield of mind. And my exact words to JC in the text was like, I don't know, like the power of love and Rogue and some shit like saved Gambit. Like it was like they were able to like swap places. Like Gambit became the driver, Apocalypse got absorbed by Gambit. That was fine for me as a viewer. I'm sure there's probably some like hardcore Apocalypse fans out there. They're like, that's not how that works.
The closest I could think of, there was a story called The 12 that I haven't read in forever, so I don't remember how it was, but Apocalypse basically merged with Cyclops, and I just don't remember how the unmerging or decoupling worked in that scenario. It's because that is at my mom's house in Connecticut, so like that means I haven't read that book in at least 14 years, so...
Yeah. When Rogue pulled Gambit out, I was like, oh, are they going to recreate the iconic J. Scott Campbell Rogue Gambit cover? And it was like, issue 24.
The hug cover?
The hug cover.
Yeah.
Because he's like slowly falling to his arm. I'm like, oh, they're going to recreate another cover. Didn't happen, but would have been cool.
Yeah. And they quickly like pull out of the battlefield of the mind, and I love like this is a good like Cyclops leadership moment. He's like, X-Men out, and they all immediately like retreat.
Yeah, it was so fast. I thought it happened. I went, that's quick, and then it just kept moving. And went, okay, we're on the next thing. But yeah, he was like, we gotta go, and then dip immediately.
That's
he was like, Nightcrawler, you good? He's like, yeah, we're out.
I love Cable's reaction because he's just like frustrated. So he just throws his expensive future gun into the swamp. Like just like a child, he like chucked a Nerf gun into the water, basically.
Yeah, that was such a funny scene because like you said, like all this culmination and the action just like hard stops. But then we catch up with Gambit in the med ward, and
which Rod, did you get the reference?
Only afterwards when I saw it on the internet.
Gotcha.
I assume when I see numbers, it's comic book numbers.
Yeah, that was one of the books that Fredo held up earlier.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that there was like
paused it when I was watching people, and that's when I ran. I'm like,
that's why.
X, how could he have to 266? It's his full first appearance. Like he's in the cover. I was like, hell yeah, cool moment.
Yeah,
and I guess that's where I've at least noticed that like he wasn't actually conscious yet, because I think the way the fight ended, it implied that like everybody's good back to normal, but he's not.
He also skin swapped to colors because he wasn't gray and white anymore.
Yeah, because Gambit's in the driver's seat, or I guess in the driver's seat, but unconscious.
No.
And then was it Beast that said like, no, Xavier said that they have to get Apocalypse out of there because Apocalypse will eventually take over again.
Yeah.
But what a bomb to have in the mansion or the X Corp. Sabretooth was one thing. You have the essence of Apocalypse in your building now. That's crazy.
Well, Beast said his vitals are weak, but it was something strange was going on with him neurologically. So that's where it's like whatever fight is happening in his head, soul, whatever that ends up being.
Yeah. And then over at the X-Force warehouse, they're kind of arguing. And about like it's just the three of us, like who's there to regroup, and then at that moment, perfect timing, X Factor crashes in very dramatically. Whatever. I guess they're there to distract while Val like sneaks in through the side door.
I love the shot because Cable's like, I'm gonna fight you, but he has the gun like inches away from Havoc. It's not like I'm gonna shoot you as you're approaching me. It's I'm gonna get within like 6 feet of you with this future gun that's gonna blow you to smithereens, basically.
Yeah. I love that setup because it's obviously supposed to be a cool entrance for Val, but like in a practical universe or whatever, it's like that's putting a lot of trust in
Cable
the other
not
team.
going crazy.
Yeah. I do like with X Factor they're going the route of them truly hardcore working for the government as opposed to what X Factor was, how it started off, with the original team breaking off and then being like, call us, and like Ghostbusters, like you give us a call and like report a mutant and we'll go like take care of him, and that's them secretly saving like mutants. So it's cool seeing that, and with a different variation of the team. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and then we get the reveal of Val, who is wearing like high top sneakers. Like that is like, if we're gonna have a 90s fit, like let's make sure visually this is the late 90s right now.
Yeah.
And she basically says, like, because Cable's like, if you're gonna take us in, we're gonna put up a fight, and Val's like, no, we have a common enemy, and so there's some tarot girlies out there that can tell me what this means, but she hands them the tower tarot card, and that's supposed to signify what they're gonna do.
Which I don't know enough about tarot to know what that part actually means, but there's definitely been at San Diego Comic-Con, there were tarot cards that were given out at one of the panels, which sadly I was not at that panel. There's 6 of them. The tower card is literally the X-Corp building on the card.
As you're saying that, now it makes sense. Like it's probably not a tarot thing. It's probably Val being, we have to take this X-Corp tower down. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, because it was like... The Lovers was Rogue and Gambit on the card together. The Tower was X-Corp Tower. I forgot what Xavier was. It wasn't the Fool, but it was like stuff like that. Punker Ducky has an entire, like, got the set from somebody at the show.
I kind of want to...
It is a unexpected event that completely shakes up the current routine, a flash of truth that strips away long-held illusions, or forced freedom from a toxic situation.
Okay. Yeah.
I also
unexpected traumatic event. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I would love for there to be some sort of like weird unserious lore of like when Evil Gambit decides to use playing cards and tarot cards to fight, because they're kind of like they've been mixed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, when he's Gambit, it's the playing cards. When he's Deathbit, it's the tarot. So
anyway, yeah. So that's that's where we left off at. Now we're just at the finale. So I guess we're going to see a big fight between X-Men and all the other X people.
Yes.
Right.
So we know at the very least there is that one clip that keeps getting circulated where Psylocke has Wolverine like in a reverse head scissor, and she's trying to stab his brain. And he's like, "Yeah, it's already too messed up there. You're not going to be able to do anything to me."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, there's so much to tie up in the final episode, because and some of it kind of works together, because you have everything that revolves around an apocalypse with the X-Men, but then also the personal stuff when it comes to Gambit, Rogue. But then also it kind of took a little bit of a backseat is Cable, right? And his destiny to kill Apocalypse. And so you got to tie all that in with this whole huge cast. So I feel like so much of the cast is going to have to take a backseat here. But then also you have Charles and his, I'm sure vendetta at this point for what happened to Magnus and everything. And so it's like everyone has some beef with Apocalypse, but there's so much emotional ties to like their beef that's like, how do you properly give each of them their due?
That reminded me, Fredo, there's the part where in the Mindscape, Xavier and Apocalypse are just yelling at each other. And I don't know if you're aware of this. The voice actor for Apocalypse in 97 is the same voice actor as Xavier. So it's literally Ross Marquand yelling at himself in those moments.
Yep. It's awesome.
Yeah. I hope when they recorded it, it was like in order. It wasn't like, I'm going to do all of Xavier's lines and then I'm going to do all of Apocalypse's lines. I want to see the footage of him like switching his voice back and forth between the two.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
And it also makes you think, like, where are we going to go with season 3? Are we going to do Onslaught? Not going to happen.
So the only thing we know for sure about season 3 is the clip that came out at Comic-Con that shows the Mutant Liberation Front, which is Avalanche, Toad, and Blob and Pyro, and then Surge from the new X-Men, who is like a total wild card being with that group. So
okay.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything specific, but everyone that we know, like in the orbit of the show, has just been kind of like, you guys ain't seen nothing yet. So I'm like really excited.
Yeah, there's
for
lots
season
of
3.
just like general excitement from them of like, they know they're cooking and then they're like, and it's going to get better. So
yeah,
like,
especially because I think they officially announced that it's wrapped, like season 3.
I don't know if I don't know if it's fully wrapped, but they're in development for season 4 already.
It sounds like there's like not a lot or nothing in flux, know.
Okay.
And so that's what they're all like, wait do you guys see, like. So
yeah. I just wonder like what the big threat would be at that point. Just because the Mutant Liberation Front is
they're not a big threat. Yeah,
they're not a big threat at all. I think what Strife was a part of that at one point.
Yes, Strife was a part of that.
I mean, there's some cool stuff with Strife.
I could also see like going down like the route with like the Purifiers on a deeper level since they introduced them this season too. Because we've not like seen Reverend Stryker in full. Like we've just like seen him like on a TV or on a radio. Like, you know, was it God Loves Men Kills is like one of the best X-Men books ever. I'd love to see that story get explored. And luckily it's a short story, so you could actually fit that into a single episode and it's not going to feel like a speed run. So
right. Yeah. That's a great one.
They did leave Kang just out there. So
true.
That's a big bad that can come back.
But even when like the MCU introduced Kang, I was like, really? Like Kang?
Kang is always fun for like a 6-issue run of Avengers, but I've never felt like Kang has ever been a legitimate threat in the comics.
Yeah.
I also think my prediction for end of next season is we hit Necrotia, because we have so many important characters who are dead that they need to start bringing some of them back to life. Like we need to have Magic back. We need Sebastian Shaw from the Inner Circle back. Like there's too many dead people. Like we don't have Dazzler right now, which is just like it's close to homophobic at this point.
Especially was it Winterbomb? Like it made an off the cuff statement. It's like, yeah, I want this to go for 10 seasons. We're like, how? You don't have enough characters.
Yeah, you kill everyone too quickly.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, I was like, hi, character. Like, hi, like, cool X-Men character. Hi, cool mutant. And you're dead now. Okay, cool. Like,
yeah.
They could also go the route of, like, the school, like, focused on, like, the New Mutant kids for a little bit. Like, have a Storm episode where she's the teacher, Wolverine is the teacher. Because, like, they made a point of introducing Quentin and Chamber and like all the Gen X kids too. So that's a whole thing that really hasn't been touched aside from the fact that they exist.
Yeah, I guess the thing too is like since it's a continuation of the original series, there's so many things that we've done already, right? Like we've tackled a lot of the X-Men versus the Brotherhood. We've done the Phoenix saga. All that,
thank God,
Phoenix.
no more Phoenix.
Yeah, and so I was just like, okay, now we're gonna have to start really, really digging into characters. So
actually, I was talking to my
Nimrod, maybe.
Yeah, we haven't really gotten a good Nimrod story since the early seasons of the last series.
Yeah,
I was talking to my friend Jeremy, who, if anybody out there hasn't checked out, his name's Jeremy on Easy. He's a great content creator, and really blowing up this year. He's having a good year. But he mentioned probably more of what you guys know because he read comics like you guys. He said he started noticing all the storylines from the 2000s coming in. He's like, oh, so we're out of the 90s.
Yeah,
so
we're
now,
starting
like,
to hit a like Joss Whedon era and stuff.
So he's like, anything's game now. Like this could be stuff up to like as recently as like less than a decade ago now. So like, it could be anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and that's Johnny talked about the Gen Z characters and newer characters and stuff like that. The stuff that you see in more of the modern comics, for sure. And so if they're wanting to go 10 seasons, I'm hoping that we kind of just go through the decades, and then, yeah, sure, maybe we hit like Josh's stuff and Grant's stuff, and then maybe get into Hickman's, would be awesome.
Hickman would be like the best final season, I feel like. Like if it's going to end like at 10 seasons, let Krakoa be the end of that story, I feel like.
Yeah. But we don't need to get too deep into Krakoa. Maybe like the lead up into Krakoa and the formation of it.
You don't want to do 10 of Swords? No. Yeah.
It started off so strong.
It did.
Well, anyway, any last thoughts before we wrap up from either of you guys? Like, I think I enjoyed this, even though like it wasn't the Horseman episode that everybody said it was going to be. I didn't really have an expectation either way, but it's like really cool Gambit stuff, so I'm not complaining about that.
Like I said, I kind of like that it, like, even if it wasn't an intentional misdirect, I felt like I didn't get the story I was expecting, and that's always nice and refreshing, that it's like, it doesn't feel like a beat for beat, like, here's what's going to happen every step of the way on it. So,
Yep. I think overall for this season, I think I enjoy the episodes more. I think season 1 had bigger moments, but I definitely think I enjoy the individual episodes this season more than I did the first season. And nice. I'm excited to see the one more episode that's left, not 2.
Yeah, isn't that wild too that we waited so long for the season and now we're in our final week.
Over 2 years between the finale of the last one and the start of this one, and it's like now I'm already chomping at the bit for season 3.
Yeah, I agree.
But rumor is it's going to be annual now, so we'll see.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, anyway, thanks again for joining us, Alfredo. You remind everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, they could find me at Alfredo Plays. I have everything there from the true crime podcast to some of the gaming and live streaming that I do there. It was an absolute pleasure. I rarely get to talk to other people who also are big like X-Men mutant fans, and so it's usually me just like spewing out stuff. So it's so nice to sit down and like have a conversation about this.
You should have JC on one of your shows, and then you can take over the X-Men talk.
Yeah,
just me and you bullying Trevor for no reason on
no
X-Men
reason
information.
at all. Just spewing it out.
There's trying to some sort of like red web theory, like mutant thing that has happened, right?
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Or it would be almost even be better if he's trying to tackle this like really serious, like this girl went missing, and then you're just like, oh, that's kind of like Dazzler in the episode.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's what Fredo does anyway in those episodes when he's doing the reactions. So,
but yeah, we could steer it hard into mutants.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. If you have any thoughts, make sure to drop them into the comments for either the YouTube video, Spotify upload, or official Instagram post about this episode. If you like what you heard, we appreciate a rating on the podcast app you're choosing. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube Podcasts. Final episode coming up.
One more left.